What's good with y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got something a little different from the normal wrestling reactions. We getting more in depth with some stories. So this is John Cena hated working with these wrestlers. So we finna get an inside scoop on some people Mr. Cena hated working with. I can't wait to get into it. But before we do, man, literally as we speak right now, I am 10 subscribers away from hitting 2,000 subs, man. Sub! Literally. If you an OG, you know I've been in the ones for like 3 years now. I'm so happy. Y'all don't understand, even though I'm a small content creator, it feels good. I appreciate every last one of y'all that has watched some of my videos. So man, we about to hit 2,000. Yeah. Make sure y'all sub to both of us. I'm leaving all our socials in the description down below. Go to whichever one you please. His will be down there, so will mine. But let's get straight into this video.
That's all he needs. John Cena might have a reputation as WWE's golden boy, but don't let that fool you. He's no stranger to stirring the pot backstage, and there are plenty of people that he just can't stand. The doctor of thugonomics has even derailed a few careers in the process just because he didn't like them. And sometimes he just couldn't stand the person he had to share the locker room with. Take Alex Riley, for example. He was a promising young star.
I think that's like the obvious. Everybody knows that
starts on the main roster via NXT. He had charisma, a good work ethic, and bags of potential. The fans seem to like him too, especially...
Sidebar, I'm not going to pause this video about a lot, but his Say It To My Face theme song is a club maker.
It's tough. And to be honest with you, bro, if John would have done what he did with that situation, I feel like he would have been straight.
Oh no, you got to realize that was the Vince era, so hey, he had a certain type for who he was going to push. So
after he split up from The Miz and went solo. But Riley's career took a sudden and steep nosedive, and the story behind it points directly to his relationship with John Cena. Riley himself has admitted that there was something about him that Cena didn't like. I just happened to be in a situation where, right from the start, it was just, he didn't like me. I just don't think he did. I tried to change that the best I could. I worked very hard and tried to do the best I could to grow and learn and fit in the way a wrestler fits in. And he wanted me to fit in. It just kind of got to the point where even some of the other guys would kind of be like, what's up with that? Despite Riley's best efforts to make friends with Cena, things ended up getting even worse. While Riley has kept the details vague, he did mention that there was a confrontation with Cena that basically ruined his career going forward. There was an incident, and it certainly changed the path of my career. I don't want to discuss it right now, but I will one day for sure. It was a tough situation at times. I guess we can leave it at that. And honestly, I struggle with the morality of even talking about it, and I'm not into blowing up anybody else at this point. I will address it one day for sure. You don't want to know. It was a tough situation. What followed that mystery issue backstage was a slow and painful decline for Riley on the WWE roster. After not being used for several months, he briefly popped back. Is this bro
regular talking voice or is my...
Nah, I think that's his regular talking voice. Okay. Sometimes you got people just talk with
before being released from his contract. Backstage reports have suggested that Cena used his influence to keep Riley down. Ryback also brought up that mystery
ain't nobody really like Ryback,
that Riley is keeping to himself in a recent interview. Cena's been a piece of to me since day one. I was nothing but nice and respectful to him. And I know Alex Riley just came out and admitted he had issues with Cena. And when people hear what really happened with that, they're going to lose their shit. I have a pretty good idea of what happened with that and the guys in WWE. And one, it's fucking hilarious. And two, it's hilarious what people will find out about John. Ryback.
Here's my thing though, I guess, because you know he's the poster child for WWE. Like he's carrying the mantle. Like even now, when you think about faces of WWE, it's like John Cena, then Hulk Hogan, and like Stone Cold. Like so, I get where people who got a vendetta with him is like where they coming from about him being a golden boy. I mean, everybody done something wrong. So even when it do come out, okay, he did something wrong, but he still Cena. Like we get it. I mean, unless it's something like heinous, crazy, then it's like, oh my god. But like other than that, bro, everybody done did something.
On to say that he thought Cena was a poison that held people back, the people that he deemed to be a threat to him. And that also seemed to extend to threats in his personal life too. Take Mickie James and Kenny Dykstra, for example. They were in a serious relationship during their time in...
Cena crushed her while he was with Kenny Dykstra? While she was with Kenny Dykstra?
I don't know nothing about that. I think it was just, I don't know, we gotta see.
With some reports suggesting that they were even engaged. However, things took a dark turn when Dykstra discovered that Mickie was cheating on him with none other than John Cena.
They dated in real life.
And after Dykstra confronted Mickie about this, she broke down and confessed the relationship, and he since claimed that his career suffered badly as a result of this entire situation. Despite being technically the victim, he was moved away from the Raw roster and placed over on SmackDown, which was away from where Cena and Mickie were based at the time. And on SmackDown, they hardly bothered to use him. His career took a massive downturn and never recovered. He was eventually released from the company in 2008.
It was crazy. He liked it.
Suggested that Cena was the one to use his influence to get him moved over to the SmackDown brand. Mickie James, meanwhile, didn't fare much better in the long run, in a massive case of what goes around comes around. After the end of her relationship with Cena, she too was moved away from him onto the SmackDown brand in 2009. The rumours suggest that she was unable to cope with the breakup backstage, and Cena just didn't need the hassle at the time. And just as Mickie James and Kenny Dykstra's careers took a sharp downturn after their personal issues with...
God, though, that's tough, bruh. Nigga crushed his girl. Bruh got pat for the Raw roster. Broke up with Shorty. She got pat for the Raw roster. See the way you dirty, ain't it?
was quickly stamped out too when the men didn't get along with each other, showing how Cena's influence behind the scenes could derail even the most promising of careers. As the leader of the Nexus, Barrett seemed destined for the main event, but then came SummerSlam 2010, where everything changed.
Man,
the original plan
to
was
this
for the
day,
Nexus to defeat...
To this day, I still say, bro, Vince, bro, you were
that was dumb.
You are a goofball. Like, you're so stupid and idiotic. That was so dumb.
That was a... People talk about the golden shovel and being buried. This was a literal
This is how you... Like, bro buried them 10 feet
This is a literal
Not
burial.
6 feet, 10 feet. This was so stupid.
It was crazy, bro. And Wade Barrett had world champion, but
he did.
He was world championship material, bro.
And imagine, cause think about this. Imagine going from this into the bad news Barrett that he went into, bro. That would a world champ. Edge was in the match, and he himself said that was so stupid that they let John Cena team win.
Long term, it killed everybody.
Which would have cemented their place as the top heels in the company, and Barrett as the leader would have been on the top of that mountain.
Yes.
However,
Edge
that never happened, and Barrett himself has speculated that it was Cena that got the outcome of the match changed. Instead of having Barrett and his boys run roughshod over Team Cena, he ended up single-handedly defeating the remaining members of the Nexus himself. Barrett has admitted that he and Cena weren't friends at the time. Then there are guys like John Cena who I don't get along with. It just so happens that he's not a personality that I get on with very well in or out of the ring. Barrett did end up having a singles feud with Cena, but that resulted in him getting literally buried on pay-per-view. And the victims of the Chain Gang Soldier just keep on piling up. Chris Masters was initially given a solid push with his undefeated streak. WWE seemed to be setting him up as a future main eventer when they put him in a program with WWE champion John Cena, but behind the scenes, things weren't running as smoothly. Masters and Cena never clicked either personally or in the ring, and this lack of chemistry would be a big problem for Masters' future prospects. Cena's influence meant that his feud with Masters was cut short, and he never managed to reach much more than mid-card status in WWE. Mr. Kennedy had one of the sharpest career declines.
He did. I ain't gonna lie, Kenny.
He
Let's
had
just be honest.
charisma,
Bruh did
mic
to himself,
skills, and
man.
He did, but
decent
bruh, like,
ability.
it was still
And
crazy. He world
WWE
championship
seemed
material,
ready
too.
to
He was supposed to win
strap
the
the
championship.
proverbial
He
got
right
injured.
to him.
Got injured.
In 2007, Kennedy won the Money in the Bank
If he would have
briefcase
never
at
got
WrestleMania. He was
injured,
almost guaranteed to become a future WWE champion, and there were plans for him to be revealed as Mr. McMahon's illegitimate son in a major storyline. All of this would have catapulted him into the main event picture. However, things quickly went south. Kennedy suffered an injury that forced him to give up the briefcase, and then he was implicated in a drug scandal. The final nail in the coffin was the suggestion that he was unsafe to work within the ring. Who was making that suggestion backstage?
Jonathan.
Well, it was the duo of Randy Orton and John Cena.
Dang.
It was during a 10-man tag team match on Raw where Kennedy hit a back suplex on Orton. Orton landed awkwardly on his bad shoulder and was very angry about it. After the show went off the air, Orton stormed to the back in order to discuss the situation with Vince. According to Kennedy himself, Cena was there too, and he backed Orton up. But it turns out that Cena had been waiting since 2007 for the perfect moment
That's
to drop
tough.
Kennedy in the shit. The men had worked together back then, and Kennedy was accused of encouraging fans to boo Cena just at that time when the fans were turning against him, as WWE were desperately trying to get Cena over as their main babyface. It was a terrible thing for him to do, but as we know, there were plenty of times when the fans booed Cena, despite him supposedly
Regardless.
being the babyface. For example, his feud with The Rock. Yes, the men had an on-screen rivalry that led to a match at WrestleMania, but there was real-life heat between the men. It all started during the period when Rocky had gone off to Hollywood, and he hadn't yet returned to WWE. In 2010, Cena went on the record to register his disgust with the Brahma Bull. At one point, The Rock loved wrestling and wanted to do this his whole life. Then explain to me why he can't come back for an anniversary show, why he can't make an appearance at WrestleMania. Simply put, it's because he wants to be an actor, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's a very good actor. He's very successful. He's done very well for himself, and associating with sports entertainment doesn't do much for his acting career. So I get why he doesn't come back. Just don't f me around and tell me that you love wrestling when you're just doing it to do something else. That's the only thing that gets me really pissed off. This was the starting point for their on-screen feud, as The Rock used Cena's comments against him in a promo when he returned in 2011. They did manage to have a professional relationship with each other, considering that he's following in The Rock's footsteps of leaving wrestling for Hollywood. Various people have called him out about
They
his
use that gear
hypocrisy
so much.
over
They
the
do.
last couple of years, and to say that he's had to do some serious backpedaling would be an understatement.
Oh, yeah.
Publicly and personally to Dwayne Johnson, I've stated that although I thought I was trying to do what's best for business, I went about it the wrong way. I violated his trust, and I made allegations about his perspective that I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
And deep down, I was a fan. I wanted The Rock back. You know, I wanted to do anything to get The Rock back. But I did it the wrong way. I didn't do it the respectful way. So I had to eat a little bit of crow. I had to say I'm sorry and I was wrong, because I am sorry and I was wrong. And that's a very humbling experience.
Okay, Cena, apology accepted. Now let's get an apology for all
Bro,
the
got a
other
port?
people you allegedly f***ed over backstage for all those years.
Hey, hold on, why bro said that? What's his name? Sport
Dang,
stunned by
he
wrestling?
ain't like that.
It sound like you got something going on with Cena. What he did to you? John Cena hated working with these wrestlers, man. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts down below. To me, man, no working situation or workplace is gonna be perfect. You gonna bump heads with somebody eventually. That's just how it go in life, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I also think, like, if you think about it, with some of the wrestlers that they had in there that John Cena had issues with, it wasn't just John that had issues with. It was multiple wrestlers that's had.
That's what I'm
issues.
saying,
So
man.
it's like,
You just never
yeah.
know for real because you're not there. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speak on it to that aspect because you never know. Like
Yeah.
for all we know, maybe Cena did pull some strings and
He
stuff
did.
that wasn't warranted.
And-
Same thing with other people
Yeah.
like that's at the top of the card. They probably pulled strings and did
Triple H
stuff.
my favorite wrestler, but he definitely pulled something.
Right, so I mean I can't speak on it to that aspect because I don't know. Like and subscribe if y'all new. Leave a comment too. Like I said, I'm 10 subs away. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe
Ty
button.
Dillinger.
We gonna see y'all in the next one. Man.
Poppin' tags, YSL, big smoke.
Cena really smashed his girl and got both of them pat the SmackDown though.
It be like
That's
that,
tough.
bro.